Hello Internet. It's time for your Friday afternoon weather report. It is currently 62 and sunny with a high of 66. We've got clear skies, no clouds, no chance of rain. Should be setting up for a nice weekend. But you didn't come here for the weather, but that is the actual weather. You came here to see this guy, didn't you? You hear it? Oh, look at it. Look at it. What a lovely looking spinner. Let's let her warp for a minute. Get my finger out of the way there. Let's let it warp for a minute. Oh yeah. Looking lovely. See that? Right off the bat, you're going to see there's no wobble on this bad boy. So, until doing this review, I had realized I'd only seen the name of the spinner and never tried to pronounce it. But let's bring it in here, see if we can pronounce it. So, it's Russian, so it should give us a hint. I think I'll be hopefully pretty close, but maybe we'll be off. It looks like it's Konstantin Pozdnyakoff, or Konstantin. I'm assuming actually is probably, it's just that softer I for us United Staters. But designed and manufactured in Russia. Lovely little spinner. So Pozdnyakoff spinner, 3-wave, material brass, date. Just about everybody else in the world does it the right way, which is the day, the month, and the year. That's the shorter amount of time, so why would you put that after the month? I don't know, but yeah, so it's the 14th of September, 2017, number 41. So, nice little card of authenticity. Comes in a nice little box. It got maybe a little bit of squished in the mail to me. This comes courtesy of Jonathan, and then it's just some foam in there. Comes courtesy of Jonathan over at Fidget Spot. Jonathan really has been hooking me up. He likes the reviews, and I appreciate him. Both as a viewer and someone that likes my stuff, as well as someone that's hooking me up and wheeling and dealing to get things over to me. So, and he's also doing a great job over there at the Fidget Spot with the Maker Spotlight. No other groups are really doing that. They're featuring Spinetic this week, so it's pretty cool. So love what they're doing over there. Get yourself over to the Fidget Spot. It's got a buy sell, which isn't spammed with buy sell. So there's good content, there's good discussions, there's good deals. So it's a spot to be on. So ooh, that's kind of cool. Whoa. So let's take a look at the spinner. Let's get it up close. Now it is very, very different from a Hydra, first and foremost, but I say that because I find myself making a lot of comparisons to how I feel about the Hydra, about this guy, which, if you know how I feel about the Hydra, is a good thing. So we've got some brushed finish around the sides, some nice, I don't know what he uses to blacken this, and then kind of like, sands it down or brushes it down a little bit. So no, these are all done by this one gentleman, and they're machined, but there's a lot of labor and finishing work by hand that goes into all these guys as well. So very unique design. One of his spinners when you see it. So he's got the bee, he's got the maze, he's got a bunch of different designs and styles. I don't know them all, and until recently I hadn't really considered them. I really liked the way they looked. But pretty much the way to get one is you've got to, generally he does most of it through Instagram. You want to find him and follow him on Instagram and reach out to him via Instagram. So I'll try to put those links down below. I should be able to find him. In those sorts of situations, I'm a guy that generally, if I want something, I just want to be able to log into a site and buy it. So that kind of held me back a little bit. But in getting this in hand, I really dig what's going on. So it's got some really excellent work done with all these little circles. And you're not going to see it out here because we're outside getting the warps. But because all those circles are in line and they're actually all on the same plane in the circle, they make these really cool concentric circles. So you get a lot of cool concentric circles when you're spinning inside, which is kind of fun. And it's got a really nice shape, aesthetic. Let's bring in the scale, get that out of the way here. Now, as is traditionally the case with spinners that I borrow, I don't really want to mess around with cleaning them and taking bearings out and stuff like that. So we'll talk spin time real quick. So you saw that 74 grams, 74 and change, basically 75 grams, which is in a great sweet spot for fidgeting. Table spins, I was getting about 5.5 minutes, and then it took a while before I did a vertical spin, and then my vertical spin time dropped a little bit. I would imagine this guy would get close to 6-7 minutes with a really clean bearing. Feels like it might have a little bit of something in there, not like damaged or anything, but just like a little grindy's not the right word, but you know what I'm saying. But it's got a cool little bearing retention method too, which I appreciate. I will also say that these buttons do have to go on a specific way. If you put them on backwards, it doesn't really fit, so you got different kind of size shoulders, but he's got you know, these little screws, sort of like what you would see on something like a steel flame where the screws hold the bearing down. So that's a neat way. I really dig that. So it makes it, that's something that's easily changed, yet something that's accessible, and probably doesn't have quite the crazy machining, and it's more easy for smaller makers to make than someone that's having a lot of runs done via machine. So the buttons are not the same on each side also, I should say. They've got sort of like this nice little engraved, so this is definitely isn't laser, like this is engraved and then blackened and then probably sanded back, and then this nice little ring back here, which gives it gives a lot of good grip. So we've taken a good close look at it. Hopefully, let's talk about fidgeting with this guy. So because of the kind of antiqued look to it, yet somewhat industrial and new age, yet aged, right? Those are a lot of things I find I align with the Hydra. Also, much like the Hydra, you kind of swoop out at the arms and all your weight's out here, so it gets real thin. Plus, you've got all these cutouts, really reducing the weight. You got, I'm assuming, trit slots. Although for me, I don't think it really wants any. Even if I had trits laying around and really wanted to, I think just that look just adds a lot of character to it. But you could trit it out if you want. Yeah, so fidgeting wise, it puts all that weight in the outside, really reduces the weight in the arms, yet it still doesn't have a lot of weight, so it can feel like it spins really fast. And it's easy to push, it's easy to flick, it's easy to pull. Some of these corners, now this is kind of an interesting one. It looks and feels like it should have hot spots. And when I say feels, it feels like it should. Like when I'm spinning that and I feel those corners, you wouldn't stop it like this a lot, but if I were to stop it on the outside of my arm like that, or strap the outside of the arm against my finger, these little cutouts almost feel like they would be hot spots. And that's about the only time I could see actually getting a real hot spot from this guy. Everything else, like these corners feel kind of sharp, and when I stop it, it almost feels sharp, but it doesn't bother me at all over extended spinning. So you get a good feel, a good sensation. And you know, Fabian mentioned this in his Cocoon review, and I hadn't really thought of it, but it's a great point that some people actually like the feeling maybe of hot spots. So this is kind of actually maybe perfect for you, because you feel those hot spots, but it doesn't get old after spinning it all day. So, so it's really got the weight in a great spot for fidgeting. The way these arms are set up with these little, it kind of swoops down, and then you get this little catch here. These types of fidgeting I was actually trying a lot today. Normally, you're seeing pretty much the only fidgeting I do like this when I do my videos is in the video, if that made any sense, that sentence. But I was actually doing this a little bit earlier, and I find it actually works pretty well. The spin profile of this is pretty amazing with the way those arms swoop down, and it took me a minute to realize this, but I really appreciate using this little groove here both to spin. It's a good little finger groove. Feels similar in some ways, but very different because of the way it's positioned to the Talisman. How it's got that little finger cut in between that's just perfect for your finger. This also just feels like it's perfect, at least for my fingers. Like, look at that. Getting right in there and then pulling. I can also pull off the face of these arms because of all those holes. There's plenty of grip there. So that's all good. The other thing that's really nice is when you get a really good spin, you get this little dish here, and like resting your finger in there and slowing it down there feels really nice. Really smooth spin. You know, we saw it spinning earlier on my fingertip there, but let's look at the balance on this guy. And like just about dead on. So you can see it's loose enough to spin it a little bit, but it really is pretty close to dead on. It feels like a dead smooth spinner. So really good balance on this guy. So doing some good work over there. So, and this is only, also I should say, this is 120 bucks. So for everything that we're getting here, I feel like this is a steal at 120 bucks. Basically having a handcrafted spinner, you know, at this price is a steal. In fact, it's such a steal, the police are coming to get me. I didn't pay for it, but I didn't steal it. I'm just borrowing it. I don't think they care. They're coming to take me away, y'all. They can't have my Pozdnyakoff. They can't have it. It's just gonna get louder. Oh, it's not the police, it's the ambulance. Oh, but the police are right with them, so it's both. Someone had a heart attack. Stealing something, so they gotta arrest him and resuscitate him, so. Anywho, so now that that's out of the way. Yeah, just a great feel from this guy. So Spin smooth, has just a few little hard edges, but don't actually do hot spots that feel nice. Looks good as all heck. Looks good sitting on the desk. Had some people asking me questions about this, like, oh, what's that? That's new. I haven't seen that one before. So it gets the attention of people. What else can we say? It was good. Every fidgeting style I could think of with this was good. So it's brass. It's got the weight out there, but again, it's so light that, you know, you can do the 1-2 back and forth. You can do the flick out and bring it back in. So flick with 2. Yeah, flick with 2, pull with 3. You can awkward fidget if you really want to. So, good spinner. Good spinner. So thanks, Jonathan, for letting me borrow this bad boy. Hope you dig the review. If you're thinking about picking one up yourself, definitely do so. Again, being that he kind of sells them through PMs on Instagram, if you want one, it seems like they definitely all go, and there's people definitely looking for them. But at the same time, it seems like if you really want it, you can get in on it. It's not quite like a drop where they just seem to be gone immediately. And these do probably fetch a good price on the aftermarket. I know there's a lot of people that are looking for them, trying to collect all of them. So, you know, be on the lookout on the secondary, but your best bet's probably just to follow him on Instagram and wait for the next one. So I'm sure he's working on cooking up something new. So we'll have to see what that is, and I might have to pull the trigger on one of these guys, because I appreciate it. So can Hobby Timmy recommend it for himself? Yes. For you, I think most people will enjoy this. So yeah, that's all we got to say. We're at 11.5 minutes, so that's just about right for one of my videos. So we'll just let it warp out. Oh, that's kind of trippy. Those circles do some weird stuff. All right, y'all. Kisses, internet.